Luis, it is too late to be drinking Red Bull, you stupid fuck.
I disagree. You can drink Red Bull any time of the day.
This is a watermelon Red Bull. It's a new one of my new favorites.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Gross. I'm sure it tastes like artificial watermelon, number one. Number two, are you trying to stay up all night?
I'm just trying to get hyped for this episode. Do you know what I mean? I feel low energy. I've been editing all day. And now I can finally be a person with this Red Bull.
Luis, do not listen to Ed, okay? Like, if Ed is giving you critiques about, like, lifestyle choices you're making...
I worry about your health. I want you to get a good night's sleep, you dumb motherfucker.
Oh, I'll get some sleep. I can pound a Red Bull and go to sleep immediately.
Fine.
All right?
You know why? Can I say... cut this if you want to, but what I've learned recently is neurotypical people... or whatever it is,
No. We're the other ones. They're non-neurotypical.
Non-neurotypical, right.
Yeah.
They can have a high intake of caffeine, and it actually calms them down for bedtime. Like it wakes them up when they need to, but then they sleep perfectly because it's just
actually very true. You know what? That's what I mean. If we want to get serious, that's what Adderall is really all about. Is because we don't have any dopamine to get us to do our executive function. And so you'll see people who have ADHD self-medicate with like sugar and candy so that their brain can have the dopamine to get shit done. And so if you feel like, oh, I can't do my laundry, I can't do this, it's probably because,
your dopamine low.
Yeah.
All right.
There's like a receptor. The two receptors aren't recepting. And so you can't have that transfer or some sort of thing.
That's right.
I also just think, it's a fact, obviously, that energy drinks are just not good for you.
No, they're bad for your heart. Your heart will explode. But that's okay.
I'll tell you what, though, coffee makes my stomach hurt, and every time but this thing doesn't actually
acidity.
I would take an energy drink every morning over a coffee if I could. We're not saying that now?
Hold on. If I could, Ed, I would have a coffee or an espresso. That's me espresso, but I can't. I have to have a Red Bull because it's the only thing that gets me hyped. Like I can't drink any other energy drink to get me excited. And this one doesn't hurt my tum-tum, and it's not a big one.
You got to get that, that
I'm not even sponsored by Red Bull right now. Like I'm out here promoting Red Bull, the Red Edition watermelon. It's an 8.4 ounce.
For me, I love a sugar-free one. Okay, that's the one I really want. Is the sugar-free Red Bull.
Cross that line right there. I will never cross that line. I don't like sugar-free.
I understand, but you know what? But for me. Listen, baby, I understand. But I'm a bigger guy. I'm trying to not get diabetes, so I'm like, let me go ahead. Let me do the non-sugar energy drink.
You might as well help yourself where you can, right?
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Ed. Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd.
Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd, the podcast where three friends, three amigos, three bambinos come together to talk about nerd shit. We got a lot of shit to talk about this week. If you want to go and hear us talk about how to train your dragon, go down to the description below. You can jump right to that. If you want us to hear us talking about, what are we talking about today? Some trailer talk about the Naked Gun trailer. Go down the description. You can jump right to it. Everything that we're going to talk about is in the description. You could literally just jump to your favorite topic and then go there and then dip out. Or you could listen to the whole thing. I recommend listening to the whole thing, personally.
And that's
my name is Luis Gonzalez, and with me is
Miguel Sanchez.
Ed Bull.
All right, boys, you ready to just rock in?
Yeah.
Rock in.
Oh, Cap's back.
All right, so let's just get started with the big boss, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is being he's going to be awarded an Oscar, an honorary Oscar, for doing all the incredible things that he's done. In the past, Samuel Jackson got a honorary Oscar. A few people did, but I just wanted to get everyone's initial thoughts on this.
It seems very fitting. It seems like that kind of year. It's like. Tom Cruise has been promoting The Final Reckoning. They're making a push, or they've officially announced that they're going to start recognizing stunt workers for at the Oscars. And he was a big, supporter of that, a big contributor to that, in fact. And, a lot of people were praising him after Top Gun Maverick, after the pandemic. It was like the first real big Hollywood hit, and much deserved. Some people always think it's like, a pity prize or whatever, and you could look at it as such. But at the same time, it's like, go Tom.
Tom Cruise was literally keeping the industry alive during COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we still have movie theaters because of the choices that Tom Cruise made during the pandemic.
Absolutely. I mean, he's the one who was going out there getting studios to make movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like keep doing it. Yeah.
He was out calling, he was calling Disney, he was calling all these places to be like, hey, I'm working on Mission Impossible. This is the game plan. You should start working on your movies too. Mm-hmm. And he just got everybody back going. So he is very much should be awarded.
People in work, you know, and through dire times, you know, very unpredictable times, especially for the movie industry.
Can I make a prediction though?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
morbid.
A little bit. Okay. I think in the next year or two, I think Tom Cruise and also Brad Pitt, okay, who are kind of like really in their like third act of stardom right now, okay? I think in the next year or two, we're going to see Tom Cruise go away. I think the industry is going to go, hear me out. I think the industry is going to go, you're too problematic for what we're trying to do. And they'll go, thank you for all the hard work you did. Thank you. Here's your Oscar. Now please leave. And I think we're going to see less of Tom Cruise in the next 2 years. That's my guess. That's my prediction. Okay.
I kind of disagree wholeheartedly. Not because
That's okay.
Not
okay.
because I'm feeling like touchy, but just purely because I know he's got several projects in the work right now.
I know,
outside of the Mission franchise.
I think, and one of the things I was thinking about with Brad Pitt this year with F1 is I think controversies, skeletons, I think they're going to come out of the closet in the next couple of years, and people are going to get like pearl clutchy about these two. And you know what I mean? I think we can give it to Tom Cruise for what he's done over the last few years, but I think some of those bigger things are going to really kind of sway public opinion. That's my guess.
Two things to say. One is that I don't think that most of America is going to even know what's happening with those two. They're just going to see them and then go, look at Will Smith and the Bad Boys. You know what I mean?
Let's give him an Oscar.
He slapped somebody in the Oscars, and Bad Boys was top 10 in the summer. You know, I don't think people even are even going to know or care.
Fair enough. You had a second point?
Oh, my second point is that I think he might go away, but he might go away because he's in a production and he'll be busy, you know, nose deep into that. And that's why we won't see him for like a year or two, because he'll be in production.
He's not like one of those people who, you know, they are of that status where it's like their movies come out every couple of years, one movie. Kind of like Leo DiCaprio. Equally, I feel like is on that same boat, Miguel, that you're referring to.
I totally
like every time he's got a movie coming out, it's just like more shit building up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That feels like more of a keg that's about to blow up. Brad Pitt. I mean, obviously you've got the Cliff Booth movie spinoff.
Which y'all know I'm excited about that.
Exactly.
So I mean, but me saying all that is also recognizing like I'm trying to separate. This is like an art versus artist type or whatever situation. I just like there's something I feel like there's something brewing, and I'm
all these old Hollywood studs are going to be set out to pasture.
Listen, exactly. They're making way for the new ones to come in.
Sure,
okay?
yeah.
And we got to have them burn spectacularly so that there's good content. Okay. No, I'm not necessarily saying like I want this to happen. I'm just like I'm thinking about some of the things that are kind of bubbling quietly in the background.
Well, Miguel knows more than we do, so we'll find out in the next couple of years.
I got a finger on the pulse. All right, I'm fingering that pulse. All right,
finger it hard, finger it good. I think that the Oscars should be. I think the honorary award actually is like, so in some ways better. I read this on Reddit, and I thought this person made a great comment about it. That let's see if I can find it in my pictures because I screenshot everything. Here's an actual hot take. This is from Jonathan.apex on Threads. Here's an actual hot take. I think this could even be more of an honor than receiving an actual Oscar. Actual Oscar voting is political bullshit. Half the voters don't even watch all the movies. This is basically the Academy saying that despite the ridiculousness of the voting process, we are ensuring this man gets an award that is long overdue. And you know what? As I turn my phone, I love it.
Jonathan,
I love that take. Come on the podcast anytime you want, Jonathan.
Yep. No.
Listen, who are some people who won some past honorary awards? Well, first off, let me go back to Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is getting one for his incredible commitment to our filmmaking community, to the theatrical experience, and to the stunts community. Another person who's won in the past, 2023, Mel Brooks and Angela Bassett. Across her decades-long career, Angela Bassett has continued to deliver transcendent performances that set new standards in acting. Who else we got here?
That is definitely the Oscars saying, "Ooh, we should have given you that best supporting."
We fucked up. Yeah.
We fucked up, and because of fucking voters.
Samuel Jackson, another one whose dynamic performances resonate across genres and generations of audiences worldwide.
Yeah.
David Lynch.
Oh man! Wait, before he died?
Before he died, he got it for fearlessly breaking boundaries in pursuit of a singular cinematic vision.
Oh, you know who else? Peter O'Toole got nominated for Oscars all his life, and the only Oscar he ever won was an honorary Lifetime Achievement Oscar.
After he died?
No, before he died. And his like famous acceptance speech was always a bridesmaid, never the bride, because he never won. But that was a class act right there. But yeah, no, even the last time he got nominated, he didn't win.
I get. Do none of these ever? No, Angela Bassett has won an Oscar before.
No.
She's been nominated.
Yeah.
Before Black Panther.
So if you're honorary, you never won one, but now it's like, hey, it's fucked up what we did to you. You deserve one. Like Jackie Chan.
You guys, the first time I ever learned the word honorary in this type of context was one of the Power Rangers seasons. One of the bad guys, lock in with me for a second, okay?
Yeah.
I think it's after the Turbo season or whatever. Like the Turbo season,
Space.
There was like, or maybe Space. There was like the girl bad guy, and she eventually becomes like an honorary ranger. And I remember thinking, oh, she's a new Power Ranger, and they were like, no, honorary. And I was like, oh, I see. I understand what that word means now. I was like fourth grade. I was like, oh, okay, let me write that down in my next essay.
Yeah. Like you don't go out there saying like, oh yeah, that person's an Oscar winner.
Hey, you know what I mean? Let one of us get an honorary degree.
Hold on. If you get an honorary Oscar, I'm going to say that you got an Oscar.
I'm going to say but you're a recipient, but you're not necessarily a winner. Because you're not competing, right? I'm not saying that it's not any less. I'm just saying, like, if you're being technical, which I'm.
You didn't win an Oscar, but you have an Oscar.
You have an Oscar.
You literally have the statue in your house.
It's basically like you kick so much ass throughout your career. We're going to give you one, no matter what.
Going to give you this gold statue.
But you know what? All those people that get those honorary Oscars, you could again point to their career and be like, well, "Look at all the movies I made." You know, exactly. let you make one of those movies. You know
Akira
what I mean?
Kurosawa, 1989, got one. Come on.
I was about to say that one.
You're about to say Akira, weren't you?
I was. 1989? Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Look,
I
Robert
remember,
Redford. You said Peter O'Toole already. Sidney Lumet, Robert Altman, Ennio Morricone.
I remember when Robert Altman got that. Too. Man, that was a long time ago.
Steve Martin.
He did. Huh?
Well, Steve Martin isn't dead.
Steve Martin got one?
He got one too. Yes, in 2013, Tom Hanks awarded him in recognition of his extraordinary talents and the unique inspiration he has brought to the art of motion pictures.
Oh, good for him.
Side note, you guys have to watch the, oh my God, it's not the Oscars. It's like the Hollywood.
Only Murders in the Building?
No. Shut up for a second, okay? No, God, I'm not talking
Father
about the movies.
of the Bride.
Stop it, okay?
Sergeant Bilko.
Cheaper by the dozen.
Okay. No, you know what? I don't want to talk about this anymore. Thank you. Thank you. No, I'll send you the link.
Latifah? What's the one with him and Queen Latifah?
Bowfinger.
I was about to say
Bowfinger's very good.
Is that it? With Queen
No,
Latifah?
that wasn't it. That was when he was a movie producer trying to make a movie.
No, I was about to say Cheaper by the Dozen. That's not it either. It's like some Bringing Down the House.
Bringing Down the House.
Yeah. Okay.
Steven watched that recently. He said it was highly problematic. So
Bringing Down the House?
Bring Down the House.
Okay.
It was
we'll bring Steven on and we'll talk about it.
So
that was Tom Cruise. He got an Oscar. He's going to get an Oscar. Spoiler alert. So it's exciting time to be Tom Cruise. We're going to our little segment here called Casting Corner. We got 3 new casting sessions, casting things that happen. Clayface, the DC movie Clayface. We got a Clayface. Miguel, do you remember what his name is?
Ian Reese Griffin. I mean, I'm pretty close.
You're pretty close.
Nice.
Ed, do you know
my fucking idea?
Okay, it's Tom Reese Harries. All right.
Okay.
He's known for The Gentleman. That movie by what's his name? The guy who directed Aladdin.
Yeah. Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie,
the guy who directed Aladdin. Jesus fucking Christ. That's what we've come to. I mean, honestly, fair enough. I can't even
name one more Guy Ritchie movie.
The last time he made like a great Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
I love. If you ever want to trigger Ed, just be like, no, name a movie. All right?
Name one movie that he did. Fuck you.
So he's gonna be Clayface, and the writer of this is the same guy who wrote what's it called?
Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan, thank you. He does Sleep Doctor. He's also coming out with that new movie Good Luck Chuck with Tom Hiddleston.
Sleep Doctor, Doctor Sleep.
Dr. Sleep.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Sleep Doctor.
Oh, Sleep Doctor. Okay. See, I'm not neurotypical. Okay, I flippity flop. You got to stay with me. Get on board.
Clayface, more like Face Clay.
Ooh, sick burn, bro. Okay, so I don't really know anything about this guy. Haunting a Hill House. That's Mike Flanagan also wrote that. He's writing Clayface. I don't really know this guy. So actually, you know what? I kind of like not knowing who this person is. Like, give me somebody new.
And I like the look of him. Like
the actor.
Yeah, like that face. I don't know how to quite. He's got kind of like he's got like a oldie like classic.
To say he likes the look of him.
No, because I one time was talking to someone and I was like, oh yeah, he's got a really good jawline, and I got dog. This is not on the podcast. In real life, someone was like, oh, does he have a good jawline? I was like, oh, I should.
I mean, honestly, that, right? This guy does have a great jawline. He does have Look at him.
I mean, it's a crazy.
No, I know.
Giga Chad jawline right there.
Lush hair. I mean, but yeah, he's got this like classic actor look, like oldie
theatrical.
Which you asked a good question. You were like, are they doing like the classical Clayface, or are they doing like a more modern day? Because like that's his whole thing. Is like the different iterations of Clayface is he's a theatrical actor from like the 40s or whatever,
right?
Like Carl. Oh God, I'm blanking on the name. Karloff or whatever his name was. You know what I'm trying to say?
Who played Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Boris Karloff.
That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
Damn, I'm a cinephile. All right, bring it on. Trivia night.
Come on. I was going to say that for me, this is like the James Gunn DCU thing going on right now. It's like, oh, we needed a Clayface movie, but we've seen a lot of characters being introduced in the Superman trailer. After this movie comes out, maybe we'll feel, with Lanterns coming out as well, it's like, hey, okay, James Gunn made the Guardians of the Galaxy and brought a D-list team to the A-list. Maybe that's what his whole mantra is on the DCU right now, is let's bring characters and let's make them the DCU. And he's also saying recently, sorry, this is a side note, where he's going like, well, Batman is so hard right now. I just can't really pin down Batman because, Batman's been done. And it's kind of like, oh man, I think we're about to not get Batman for a while,
Yeah.
I think it's like Matt Reeves too. I don't know if that Batman's going to happen anytime soon. And I kind of think the DCU version of Batman is not going to show up in the next 5 years.
I'm kind of okay with that though, to be honest. I think I need to chill on Batman for a bit.
I mean, I don't. I need part 2, but we've already talked about that. But,
we'll see.
No, I feel like I want to say like when they first announced this, it felt like they were saying this was kind of like a standalone thing.
Yeah, it felt like outside of Gunn's thing.
Yeah, like kind of like at least how he's been talking about the Batman being of its own world kind of thing.
Elseworlds is what they're calling it, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's like basically just like the singular storytelling of a character that doesn't necessarily intertwine. So, which was the only reason I asked that question about, whether it would be contemporary or like a period piece or whatever. It'd be interesting if it were a period piece, like a live action Clayface would be kind of cool in that setting. But at the same time, it would also be interesting to see Clayface in a modern setting. I also think
that James Gunn has said so many things over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And every so often he kind of not contradicts himself, but it's just like things shift. And
I
now all
think
of a sudden they're this. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, until the movie, for me personally, until whatever product comes out,
Yeah.
we're not going to really know what it is or where it fits.
That's true. I mean, I'll give him this. I think he's definitely the most direct as far as just like,
I hate it.
This is false, this is true kind of thing.
Wait, hold on. Why do you hate that James Gunn like replies to things about that?
For me, it's just like I like the mystery of things and the fact I understand why some people want like, yeah, come out and tell us everything. But it's just like, okay, again, if you say in January it's this, and then in July you say something different, it's like,
yeah. But
okay, then why did you even bother?
point-
Well, hang on. Then why did you even bother saying something in January when you could have shut the fuck up and said something in July?
Well,
you
to
know?
his point, I feel like,
But also, I'm sorry, one more thing, Ed. I'm so sorry, Ed. But it's also like, do we, and I feel like we've said this before, do every single person on the internet, do we deserve some sort of immediate response when we say things?
100%
People tag him and shit all the time. I swear to God, I'm almost done. People tag him and shit all the time, and they're like, James, Daddy, tell us. Is this going to happen?
They know he'll answer.
And you're like, exactly. And it's just like, you should not be at the beck and call of the internet.
I definitely agree to that, but I think it is because the internet goes down these ridiculous holes of just like, did you hear this rumor? Did you hear this rumor? What was it? I mean, it was just a couple of weeks ago. The rumor was somebody else going for Clayface, who I'm blanking on now, but it was somebody who I was just like, oh, I'm on board with that. But obviously it didn't turn out to be that. But that's what I mean. It's just like we're in this very obnoxious age of just like every fucking fart in the wind is the latest casting rumor.
You know what?
And it just like that gets obnoxious in itself. So like the fact that he's like at least trying to shed some clarity.
Just say
on that.
no.
Yeah, like how many times like people have been talking about the Batman Part 2 script being turned in, which it hasn't obviously, but like people are just like, the first few pages have been delivered to James Gunn, and he's like, no,
you know what?
That's not true.
Two thoughts on that is the fact that James Gunn recently commented on that, and he was like, we don't even have a script yet. But a couple weeks ago, he was like, we're going to have a script soon. And then it was just like they asked it again, and he was like, we don't even have one yet. And I kind of feel like James Gunn is being like, hey, where's my fucking script? You know what I mean? Like, are we going to see the Batman Part 2 anytime soon? But also, speaking about casting rumors, I heard another one today that, to your point, Ed, instead of like hearing James Gunn or the James Gunn of every project come out and say, no, that's not true, I just prefer to take everything with a grain of salt. I heard one today that, Ed, wouldn't you know it, Aaron Pierre is going to be the next James Bond, okay? Or he's in the running. And it's like,
how many of those have we had?
Since Daniel Craig said, I want to slit my wrists, then play James Bond again, we have had 46 James Bonds every year. And it's just like, and
we're so close. They're so close to casting it.
Exactly. Yeah. And as opposed to like have to be like spoon-fed the answer, no, this is not it. I would just want like media literacy to come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or remember after like fresh off of Oppenheimer, everybody said like, oh yeah, Christopher Nolan, 100. No. Christopher Nolan was directing James Bond 100%. And then the first interview he has and somebody asked him about it, he's like, no. Like, that's not happening. So, and now he's directing the fucking Odyssey. So, I think that's just a testament to the nature of the internet and news in general.
That's what I'm saying. We're not going to get media literacy anytime back, unfortunately. So I just don't want people to build clout. Again. I don't want to get people to get clout and be like, oh, look at this rumor that I put out there. Look how many likes I'm getting. I like people getting slammed and checked by like whoever it is, being like, no, you're actually pretty wrong, dumbass. You know what I mean? Like, that's not happening. That's what I liked. I like justice.
Remember we were doing that Harry Potter casting, and there were rumors about that, about Albus Dumbledore for a while, like different actors taking on that, so we speculated on that, but like, yeah, there is like a limit to just how much you can commit to that news until literally the fucking person directing or writing or producing that show.
I don't like the entitlement of some sort of like person online being like, I know actually everything, and it's like, no, you don't.
I heard through the grapevine or whatever.
No, you didn't. You know.
Yeah. But at the same time, and this will be my last thought about this, I swear to God, Do you want these creatives to spoon feed you every little step of the way?
I don't want them to spoon feeding me.
I just want an announcement, a clear-cut announcement.
Hang on. I love a behind-the-scenes featurette when the movie comes out. You know what I mean? I don't need to know all of the magic that happens pre the movie, because what do I want when I see the movie? I want to be surprised. I want to have fun. I want to not know what's coming at me as much as I can, okay? Why do we skip 2 and 3 trailers deep? Because the first one told us everything we need to know. Yeah. But if every time someone farts in the wind and we go, oh, is that real? Is that not real? And then someone just goes, actually, it's not real. It's like, well, maybe it was until it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, let me be surprised. Let me have some enigma to the whole process. I don't want to peek behind the curtain on
this
every
is coming
thing.
From the guy who throws himself at spoilers galore.
I don't think I throw
internet.
myself at spoilers, Ed. I think
Luis,
that I don't.
What do you think?
I don't necessarily care about spoilers,
okay.
But I don't think that we need, because maybe those spoilers aren't real. You know what I mean? Maybe such and such happens, and then the movie comes out Or they are, but the context is not the same. Now, I've said this before, okay? I knew Joel was going to die in The Last of Us Part 2 before I ever played the game. But the context changed everything. But if with Joel dying, and then the director came out and was like, actually, Joel does die, that would be like, oh, okay, now I don't feel as...
But you're saying James Gunn has done that?
No, but I do think the whole, let me respond to every little thing just becomes a little hey, I don't need you to be accessible. I don't want this to be accessible. I want to talk shit. I want to make up wild accusations.
I don't want people to be making up wild accusations shut up, you don't know what you're talking about.
But even if they do, and then they're wrong, that's the juicy satisfaction.
But they never get checked. Wrong. They'll never get checked. They'll be forgotten. They will be forgotten.
You know what I would say?
What?
Is, do you need them to be checked, Luis? And maybe let's check.
Actually,
maybe let's check.
We live in a world without consequences right now.
I know I'm a good person. Those people aren't good people. I would like the directors to claim on them, and they're not spoon feeding me who's going. They're not like, all right, Luis, here's who's in what. They're just bringing out justice, and he's not saying it to every single time. He's not doing it to every single person. He's doing it to the repeat offenders, you know?
I understand. But then you get quotes from James Gunn where he's like, but you know what really killed Marvel is the fact that they this and they that. And it's like, well, that's not even a rumor. You're just commenting on things. And it's like, I don't need you to comment on every little thing that's happening. You don't need to be as accessible. I want you to lock in and focus on the thing you're making and then show us when the time is right. Not present everything along the way. You know,
it'd be nice as every director took maybe the Christopher Nolan approach of just
hey,
you know,
I'll show you when I show you. You
exactly.
Know what I mean?
I get your point there, but I think, like I said, I think there is something to say about somebody who is involved with the specific project in question.
Can I ask you this?
No. Let me finish my thought.
I'll let you finish.
All right. I think there's something to be said about somebody just clarifying or pointing out what's false or what. And I'm not saying every single time, because you're right. I would kill myself if I had to just address every single speculation and rumor based off of this image,
right,
or just whatever. You know, it's dumb. And again, I mean, people have eyes everywhere. It's almost impossible to avoid things leaking out these days and stuff. So yeah, you do want some of that surprise. So I mean, but some of us aren't as in touch with the social medias of the world where all of that stuff is discussed and tossed around constantly. You know, a lot of I follow movie sites where a lot of those rumors do trickle through, of course, and some are denied and later on, and then James Gunn denies this or whatever. It gets a little tedious, this back and forth. But that also just, again, it's just people who want to do gossip columns instead of actually delivering the news.
You know what I really enjoy about this is I feel like this is a very rousing conversation. Okay,
I'm aroused.
We spoke on this, and I don't feel like we came out of this hating each other. And I feel like that's the first time in a while. We really.
Because I think we all agree.
I kind of agree. I think we're saying the same thing. We see each other's points of view, and I don't think no one's really denying anything. Okay, I just I have a preference. You guys have a preference, and I was going to say this earlier. Is imagine if James Gunn said something, and then you guys were like, I'm using James Gunn as an example. It doesn't have to be James Gunn, but just imagine like a James Gunn type said something, and then you were like, ugh. Would you even admit it, or would you be like, well, at least he fucking owned that guy,
I would say he fucking owned that guy for sure every time.
I saw a picture the other day that was like clearly an AI photo. I'm almost done. Clearly an AI photo of Jason Momoa on the Supergirl set as Lobo. Okay, and then the internet had to tell the internet, "Hey, bitch, this is an AI photo." But if James Gunn, he didn't have to say anything. Also, isn't it kind of nice to be able to point to something and go, "Yeah, you fucking idiots. Of course this is AI. I'm smart enough to know this isn't AI. I don't need someone to be like, actually, hey, Miguel, just so you know, that shit's AI." Okay? That's
But
bullshit.
some people need to be slapped.
I don't need to be done. But it's like, if they need to be slapped, are they feeling the slap? You feel me? You know what I mean? Some people don't recognize, they don't have like internal wheels moving.
Right.
Okay.
That's why this country is in the state that it is, because they
Ed, now you're talking, Ed. Okay.
I was saying, okay, so two examples, like one that proves your point, Miguel. One of the most recent James Gunn ones was that like somebody was like, okay, Superman's locked in at like 2 hours and 8 minutes.
Sure.
And James Gunn was like, no, false. And then came back, and the official runtime is 2 hours and 2 minutes. Like, fuck off. Why waste your breath? Who gives a shit?
What's 5 minutes? You'll learn it when you see the movie,
I mean, 5 minutes is probably like the credits. Like, yeah, you're probably right. But and then like I was thinking of the time where like the studio director took the official stance of like false news was Sam Mendes and Spectre, whenever everybody speculated that Christoph Waltz was going to be Blofeld. And they were just like, no, he's not Blofeld, he's such and such. And then, of course, he ended up being fucking Blofeld, which was the most underwhelming piece of shit.
I see what you're saying. When someone intentionally tries to mislead you, but
right,
it doesn't
and then,
land.
Sure enough, it was just especially when you call
Spider-Man situation.
Right.
Yes. When
you say like the title of the movie is called Spectre, the head of Spectre is Blofeld. And you cast somebody as Christoph Waltz, I wonder who the fucking like lazy-eyed fucking villain is going to be. It's going to be fucking Christoph Waltz. So yeah, I don't know. I guess.
My God, we got really heated on this one.
Did.
This was a fun one.
This is good. This allows me to make a thumbnail because of this conversation. So I appreciate that, guys.
Okay,
I appreciate this. All right, what else do we got here? Miguel, your friend Brad Pitt in his movie The Adventures of Cliff Booth.
Okay.
Well, hold on. He has
buddy.
He has a co-star that's been cast for this Netflix movie. It is Carla Gugino.
Yeah.
Love it.
Gugino, right?
Gugino. She was.
I love her.
She's great.
She was in those what's it called, Mike Flanagan movies.
Yeah. Talk about Mike. Yeah.
She was in The Watchmen. She was in Sin City. She was in.
Listen.
Spy Kids.
It's Fincher doing the movie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Which she's got this big Netflix deal. She was in all of those Mike Flanagan Netflix shows, and it's just like, okay, I love when a studio knows who works, like within their parameters. You know what I mean? But also has a talent like her, which is like she's going to show up and show out in the world. In the world of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you can see her immediately fitting into that world.
Totally.
I am excited. As I said earlier, I do try to separate the art from the artist. I know I was saying some things earlier about Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise, but I am excited for this because I loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I thought Cliff Booth was just like one of his best characters. So to see a little bit more from them. I'm very excited. Fincher has a really solid Netflix deal. A lot of the things he's putting out with Netflix have been good. So I'm into
Talking
it.
about rumors, the latest one on the fucking Mindhunter.
You gonna say it? Say it.
Like a 2-part movie special for Mindhunter to finish it up.
Fincher, who was it? It was the guy that plays the broad-shouldered fella. I'm blanking on his name.
The broad-shouldered fella.
He was saying that Fincher mentioned that it's in the works potentially 3. I think it was 3 movies for Mindhunter, 2.5 hours each, to wrap up the series. And I would say this: if that's true, I would love to see it. But you know what I don't want to hear is David Fincher hopping on the internet being like, "Hey Miguel, by the way, that shit's not true. All right, let me fucking dream for 5 minutes, okay?"
It's funny, I was watching The Killer today, too, but we're talking about this. The Killer, the David Fincher Netflix film.
Right.
It's a really good movie. Here's the thing about that, is just like any Netflix film just kind of loses its luster because they don't allow physical copies, basically, across the board. So it's just like, are these just like straight to TV movies now? Like that, like where are movies placing themselves in movie history these days? There's so many. There's such abundance that everything just gets lost in content. And
I don't watch Netflix anymore. It's too much. Everything they pump out, I'm like.
David Fincher's repertoire of movies before he got into Netflix.
He doesn't need like Netflix.
And then he's got like Mank. People don't really often think about that. You think about The Killer. People don't often really think about that one either. But you think back about his earlier career, the movies that hit theaters.
I just love this. I love this moment in time because it's like, Ed, are you like grappling with the fact about streaming all of a sudden? Because it's like, I feel like we've been talking about streaming for 10 years now about what it's doing. You know what I mean? Like movies, everything's being cheapened because of streaming. Yes. But when you get these big names that get these deals, right, you're kind of hoping like, well, maybe this will be the one that's like kind of good for streaming. Yeah. Mindhunter wasn't even a physical copy. It was a streaming TV show.
It was a show. Yeah, sure.
So if they're making more Mindhunter and it's also on Netflix, which they were already doing, well, fuck it. We'll just keep it in the ballpark, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, I get that. But does it not make you sad?
No, of course, Ed, of course. And that's what I've been trying to say all along. Okay.
Okay. Good. I digress there. I definitely went down like a personal thing. But yeah, who else is getting cast in shit?
Oh, Kaitlyn Denver, the state that Miguel lives in. She is getting cast for a franchise that Miguel also loves, Godzilla Kong. The new sequel to Godzilla Kong New Empire is Godzilla Kong Supernova.
That's right. My favorite state, Denver, in the country of Colorado. I think Kaitlyn is going to be great in Godzilla Supernova. I think she had a really good quote where she was like, I can do serious things and then I can also be in Godzilla. She was basically saying like, there's a time and a place for these types of movies. And it's like, I'm sorry, the last Godzilla movie I watched, King Kong was running around. I'm sorry, it was Godzilla running full speed with his thick ass thighs and floating through this like non-space gravity thing. And it's like, yeah, by this point we've lost the thread.
I mean,
here.
The human characters in those movies are inconsequential.
Yeah. Yes.
They're there to push the story along, and that's it.
I will say this: the last one was great because Millie Bobby Brown was in it. But if Kaitlyn Denver wants to be in this one, let her. I'm sorry, I didn't realize actors getting paid was a bad thing. Okay, what's this? The 4th Godzilla King Kong movie since they made them, or 3rd one?
3rd one, yeah.
You know what? If I've been watching them, I'm going to keep watching them. My kid likes them. Fuck it, I'm going to sit down and watch this one too on HBO Max.
I still got to watch the first Empire, New Empire. I haven't seen that one.
It's fine, I
got to be in the right state of mind to watch that. Speaking of Godzilla, I know it's not on the dock here, but Lego is going to be coming out with the new Godzilla set. It looks like it's going to be the legendary Godzilla and not kind of like the classic Godzilla, You know what I mean?
Love
Yeah.
that.
Even though like every post I saw about it, they had the Godzilla -1 poster. You know,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like people get your story straight, man. But yeah, I mean, either way, I feel like having had the Jurassic Park Gate and Tyrannosaurus Rex set myself,
You have Godzilla right next to your T-Rex.
I feel like Godzilla would be a sweet set to have.
Can I ask, just to be silly?
Unless it's $600, and then I'm like, fuck.
Okay, money aside, all right. If you had to pick like the Godzilla for a Lego, like there's so many Godzillas. Do you have like a preference of which one you would want? If they made a Godzilla Lego for the one you wanted, what would it be?
Maybe just because I'm fresh off the vibes, I really wouldn't mind a Godzilla -1.
-1? Yeah.
Yeah, but I do like the legendary Godzilla design. I always have. Maybe not the pink glowing one, but like the original Gareth Edwards one.
No, I know, and we could talk about Godzilla all day at this point. If we're going to talk about the original one to the pink one, yeah, that's a big leap. You know. What about you, Luis? What about you?
I don't know. I guess the one I'm looking at right now here looks pretty cool.
But
Shin
any Godzilla, you could have anyone.
Yeah, like I'm trying to look at this picture right here. I mean, Godzilla -1 would be very cool. What is this Godzilla? I don't know. Yeah, Godzilla -1. Sure, fuck it.
The 90s Godzilla.
There's like a Godzilla Millennium is pretty cool. I'll tell you that. Yeah. Does that help you in any way?
I would take the Matthew Broderick one. I loved that Godzilla.
Oh,
that
we
was
call
like
him
one
Godzilla.
of my...
We call him Zilla in the Godzilla
Zilla.
community.
What?
He's called Zilla in the Godzilla community because he's not really Godzilla.
The Matthew Broderick one is called Zilla?
That's
okay,
what
well, that one they say Gojira. I would never say that. But I liked that one. That was one of like the first ones that I was introduced to. Like,
that was my introduction to Godzilla too. Honestly,
you know,
I mean, I didn't like suddenly start watching the black and white version.
Yeah,
that was my introduction. I was like, and this is cool. I had the action figure too, and that was a prized possession.
They had the cartoon show. I was just saying.
I think I got the bucket for that one. There was a bucket at AMC. Before buckets or buckets.
A watch at Burger King. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yeah.
Come on now.
The 90s really did do it right, didn't they?
Say it.
They just like knew how to treat kids right.
You know, it'd be nice a Godzilla, the Godzilla from Fortnite version on Lego.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Basically anything from Fortnite and Lego. Now you got my attention. Okay.
Absolutely. Do you know that? Okay. Anyway, I'm going to skip this Emmys thing. That's going to come back later. We don't need to talk about it right now. I did want to say one point of business here, real quick. I think this is interesting. I always like to talk about the Hollywood business. Warner Brothers and Discovery. Remember how Discovery bought up Warner Brothers and they merged all the Discovery networks from TLC to Discovery to what else is there? I can't name them, but they combined together. They were like, hey, we're going to be a super company. We're going to create Max so that we have all this content. Nobody wanted that. Everybody wanted just HBO in general. So what they're doing is they're going to split up and create two different things called Streaming and Studios Company, which will consist of Warner Brothers DC, HBO, and Max, and that's it. And then they're going to have this other thing called Global Networks, where they're putting all their television brands like TNT, Discovery ones, TLC, CNN, so that they can take all the debt. Because right now, I think Warner Brothers is in like $15 billion in debt, $20 billion in debt. So they're like, hey, we're going to move all the non-profitable like stuff that's like losing money on one side, and then we're going to keep all the profitable ones on this side. Because and funny enough, a lot of people are starting to do that with their companies because cable TV is starting to lose money. So they're like, well, we don't want this sinking ship. So we're going to put all of our TV networks in a separate company, and then we're going to keep all the profitable stuff on the other company. So that anyone who's interested in businesses, that's what's happening right now in the business world of film. Obviously, not like half the movies are being made. The film industry is in a real shithole right now on top of what's it called? The streaming bubble bursting, inflation, the strikes. All of these things are what's it called, fucking up the industry, and so people are trying to find ways to make money again. And so they're saying, hey, let's just dip out and throw away all of the stuff that's on cable to another thing, and then we'll keep all the movie studios that'll make money. So
maybe let's let movie lovers make movies. Let's stop making businessmen make movies.
Who's gonna pay the movie lovers? It's still a business. Like, they gotta
but like get people who love movies and also know business to fucking handle it. Instead
Well, they're
of
trying to do that.
People who do not let. No, I mean,
they are in $1 billion of debt, and what do you do if you're $1 billion?
How did they get into that debt, Luis? Because they were just like, let's make this, let's make that sequel, let's do this. Like 100%. That is because of that mentality.
Money. I think they're trying to make money, you know?
Of course they are, but they thought they could make money by doing the same stupid shit over and over again for the last 10 years. But you know what? I'm going to tell
you something. The stupid shit gets them money. Think about all the Disney remakes, like Aladdin and shit.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. $500 million. Okay, but that doesn't justify their existence.
What's that?
It doesn't. We shouldn't be encouraging that.
I'm not the one encouraging it, but
remake every fucking movie. Okay, but because they're not being offered anything new.
Because they can't afford anything new. They tried to make original content and nobody went and saw it. And so they went and started making remakes.
I can't believe you're taking this stance right now.
This is always the thing. You make shit for them so that you can make stuff for yourself. That's how it is. I make 2 popular movies so I can make
good
one
shit. Like, make original shit, though.
Because people can't afford it. It's not worth it. People
because that's how they push the market to that point. They don't market original shit as well.
People aren't going to the movie theaters like they used to in the 90s anymore.
Example of that.
Sinners is a unicorn of an example. First off, we haven't had anything like that since 2016.
Now because everything is remakes and sequels.
I know, Ed, but I'm telling you, they have tried
to
do
movies,
this.
There was a time where they made money, and they can make money
there was
again,
a time when we were bombastic with TikTok and video games and all this other. Our attention has been split by different media forms now. People used to go to the movies so much more in the 90s. The 90s was peak theater going opportunity. People used to go to the theater and be like, what am I going to watch? And they would just show up and watch something. Now, people only go to the theaters twice a year. So you have to get people to, like, what are they going to go and see the theater? Like, something they don't know or something they do know. I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just saying that's the reality of the situation.
Sounds like you kind of agree with it.
No. I'm just telling, I am explaining you their business strategy and why they're doing that. Like, they are seeing a return because that's what they're giving out. And people are all nostalgic and they want to see that stuff. So they pay money for it. You know, that's why we have Jurassic World Rebirth. That's why we're having Superman. That's why we're having How to Train Your Dragon again, because the Disney remakes made $600 million, $1 billion. And then they try to release like original stuff and no one shows up or they lose money. I would say that what they need to do is they need to rework their budgeting and not spend $300 million in a movie, but rather go back to the days where you had, 15 million,
what's
20 million.
What's happening here is both of you are essentially saying the same thing. Okay.
Yes.
Where you want the creatives to be allowed the room to create.
Yes.
And you also want those things to make money so that they can continue being creative. You know what I mean? But you can't continue being creative when what's being rewarded is the same old, like, rehashed slop. You know what I mean?
Because that's what they pour all the money into.
Exactly. That's what, yes,
the fact that movies like Mission Impossible or Thunderbolts, even most recently, they're saying that movie is going to lose money even after making $400 million worldwide.
The fact that I have a whole other talking point for Thunderbolts as well. I mean, like that is we are at a turning point with Marvel Studios right now where people don't trust the brand like they used to anymore, and so people aren't showing up.
It's not just Thunderbolts; it's a lot of those movies that are like they get $200 million plus another $200 million for marketing, and then they like lose money because guess what? People are bored of the same old shit. Like,
I'm telling you,
can I ask you what, Ed? Just real quick, Ed, what was the last movie you went to go see? And I'm asking genuinely, okay? What was the last movie besides like the big tentpole features? What was the last movie you went to go see that you were like, this deserves recognition and money?
Black Bag.
What was that about?
Espionage. Like, I don't know, like a espionage thriller drama, I guess.
Okay.
All right, let's
Sorry,
see how much
Luis
Black
is
Bag made. Black Bag grossed $21 million
domestically.
Worldwide, $42 million.
And
And
I
that's
think
the
the
pro-
budget
that-
was
Very,
like
very
50
low.
mil. Yeah, it is very low. And
But-
the marketing for that movie was shit. It
that's
got like
true.
maybe one trailer that also painted it in a very different color from what it was.
Tale as old time.
I think
we've seen that so many times.
there's something to be said that like studios treat those kind of movies a lot differently. They're not even trying to present them.
I mean, look, you're not wrong in that
Look
sense.
at Mickey
because
17. Mickey 17 was a high budget film, a movie from a prestige director who fresh off of an Oscar, and that movie did not do well.
That movie was
because
heavily
they didn't know
promoted.
how to market
That movie
it.
was
But
heavily
also-
promoted and a new idea, and
It was
no one
not
showed up
heavily
for it.
promoted. It got
I saw
one
Mickey
trailer.
17 everywhere.
I saw that trailer a lot. Maybe
Okay, but
maybe
that one
Luis is-
trailer.
But Luis is maybe speaking from an LA perspective where they put billboards up for everything. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true.
And I would also say that had they put that movie out maybe the year or two after he won the Parasite Oscar, then maybe we would have but maybe it was COVID and then the strikes and things there's all these things that kind of work against it. You know what I mean? I'm trying to actually support what you're saying, Ed.
No,
but,
I hear you. Sorry, I keep hearing this sound behind me. I'm just trying to figure.
It's the murderer.
I mean, to
breaking
be
in right
honest,
now.
Ed, what it
Fucking
sounds
kill
like
me.
is what all this is you want to. I mean, and I agree with you because I want to do the same thing too. Is we want to create our own distribution production company to do something Neon A24. That's what they try to do as well. But studios who are just have to make a profit, gun to their head, make money because you are you're a public company and you have to make money for your stockholders. You have no choice but to turn your profit. And you're totally right. If someone was able to market the shit out of Black Bag, I bet that would do really well. The problem is no one is going to be willing to pay the hours or spend the money creatively to do that because they are churning so much and they can't afford to focus on one movie or not because these are mega studios and they're strictly a factory. Pump.
Right.
And it's just
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what I think would work in our favor in this whole thought experiment we're having right now is think about back to the 90s, 1999, The Matrix. Before that came out,
a
before we
different
saw
time
a trailer.
for moviegoers. A different time
Absolutely,
for moviegoers.
absolutely. I'm just making this point. What is The Matrix was the question, and it's imagine if your whole marketing was one question. That you didn't have to show anything whatsoever. So what if in the next 5 to 10 years we go into this anti-marketing stance where it's we don't need the $200 million plus budget just for marketing. We just put out this one small campaign that word of mouth gets us. You know what I mean? Social media is big enough that you could maybe potentially do that. You know what I mean? You could trickle an idea out into social media and let the talkers talk it out until we figure out what it is. But as far as
present the movie as a mystery so much, or whatever,
yeah. And one of the most recent ones we saw this in the last 5 or so years was the Blair Witch. They came out with another Blair Witch movie, and they promoted it as something. And then at one of the cons, they showed the movie, quote unquote, whatever it was called. But then when they actually sat in the theater, it was a Blair Witch remake or whatever.
Right.
But it's just I feel what both of you guys are saying is you want there to be this creative world, and you also have to understand that there's money to be made. And
of course,
right now we're just.
I'm not promoting all I'm telling you is telling you what's happening out here in the industry. I'm not saying I support it or whatever. I'm just presenting you what they're thinking, what's going on in their mind, and that's all.
I'm sorry, I got hot there, Louise.
No, it's okay. They do want to make money. They do want to make stuff. There is a frustration on their side as well that they don't like it as well either, is what I'm telling you. Is they want to be making new stuff, but it feels like they're handcuffed to be finding ways to just use old IP because people are so distracted with everything on their phones, the video games, with whatever, Twitch, people, it's very difficult to get people's attention now for things and to go to theaters and you need to dedicate your time. So it's
spending
tough.
$20 on a ticket or whatever.
Well, there you go. See, why do I want to spend $25 on a ticket when I can watch my favorite streamer for 2 hours, 3 hours, or I could play Fortnite for 4 hours, or I could just be on my phone for 2, or for whatever. You know what I mean? Like, there isn't the whole like back then. It was like we just had movie theaters, and then we had the TV, and like a sports event or concert. You know?
Yeah.
Well, what I would like to suggest something.
Okay. Say something nice about each other.
No. Listen, we've moved on beyond that. Okay. I would say let's skip forward just a little bit. I want to talk about our feature discussion, which I think tonight we're going to talk about How to Train Your Dragon. Okay. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, I would like to spit some fire, or more specifically, I would like to have.
Oh no.
Some fireball.
Oh shit! I forgot to get it.
That's okay. I have it right in front of me. I'll go ahead and just do it. I'll do this.
I thought that was myself. A bit.
No, that's real. Well, we do it for the bit to do the
and
bit.
This bottle is half empty already.
My mother-in-law came to visit twice. So
if you read the text messages, he said that.
This is my mother-in-law has a cocktail that she likes to make. I can't even tell you what it is off the top of my head, but it involved a fireball. In fact, just real quick, she placed the bottle next to a candle at one point. And then I picked it up and I saw this like burnt thing.
Oh, and then I realized thought that was the design.
I did too.
Then no, it is the design. I thought legit she burnt the bottle, but it's actually the design. This is the ball of fire. Okay.
Okay, that would have been the only crazy.
Reason I would have been like, you're not allowed back here if you're going to burn down our house.
Flammable.
That is a problem. No, it's actually just that, and we had a laugh about it. But the only reason I'm talking about this is I've been to 2 or 3 different establishments recently where the youngins are ordering shots of Fireball, and I was blown away because it would be like tables of people that are like, hey, can I get a shot of Fireball? Can we get 3 shots of Fireball? Thanks, appreciate it. And it's just like, I don't know about you guys, but I thought we grew up that was like maybe one of the lowest things you could do is ask for a shot of Fireball.
I thought we passed all that.
A mild step above well.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, to both of you. You might as well be like, hey, can I shotgun a Four Loko? I thought we did this already, okay? But because everyone's taking a shot of Fireball and not us, okay, but I am.
I'm going to go ahead next week. I'll try to get one.
For the bit, I'm going to go ahead and do a shot of Fireball before we talk about DreamWorks live action.
Are we going straight into the feature discussion?
Sorry, I'm trying to kind of keep us moving along because we were kind of hot spirited. So I'm doing my thing to.
We got trailers. Okay, we got trailers. Hold on. Do we?
No one. What's happening? Ed didn't even watch those trailers. Okay, so
but I did.
Even have to.
I literally did.
Listen, before we talk trailers, let me go ahead and get silly. All right.
Okay. Get silly.
At this point, you know what I mean.
You've hyped it up now.
Now I've done it, and now Luis's producer brain said, well, "Wait a second, okay? Actually." Yeah. What do you guys? Before I take this shot, when you think about a Fireball shot, what do you think off the top of your head?
That's what I think.
Absolutely. No need to respond. I'll tell you 100%. What I feel. It's like a big red, like a liquid. You remember that gum?
Yeah.
That cinnamon gum.
Yeah.
That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I love cinnamon in a lot of stuff. I love autumn flavors, nutmeg, cinnamon, things like that. And so when you say there's cinnamon in whiskey, the idea is like, oh, that sounds like it
sounds
could work.
Like it should be.
No,
good.
I tell you what.
Right.
The very first time I ever had Knob Creek whiskey, and this is kind of an unfortunate situation for them, is it was a maple Knob Creek, and I just immediately associate Knob Creek with this like super sweet mapley taste. But that was just one of the things they were doing. But it's just like, you know what? Whiskey doesn't need a bunch of flavors. Whiskey is kind of just what it is, you know?
They have that peanut butter whiskey you can get.
I think about you every time I see that one, Ed, because it's like, oh, God, Ed would never.
I couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't.
All right. So now that's a challenge. I'm going to find a way to get you to.
It's like I'm tired of Ed talking all this bullshit. I'm just going to poison the motherfucker.
I'll put some nuts in there for you. Okay, so you're talking about Fireball. Okay, coming soon. Let's just get through these real quick. We could spit through these real quick.
Speaking of a darker tone,
How to Train Your Dragon. Well, look, that's our feature discussion. But if you're excited for the second one, guess what? It's coming. It's How to Train Your Dragon 2, June 11th, 2027. 2 years. Check it out, Jocker Tone. Okay, let's do trailer talk. There's a new Naked Gun trailer. You know what? It looks funny. It's the guy who did, what's it called? Popstar? Akiva, what's his name?
Yeah, he's one of the Lonely Island.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know what? Fucking, you're doing a good job, dude. I'm in for it. What do you guys think?
Don't watch the second trailer. I would tell you this: if you were going to see it, the whole second trailer was bits. But it's like the only reason I'm seeing these movies is for the bits. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a bit movie. Yeah,
exactly.
Especially
So don't watch the
comedies,
trailer.
You don't want to watch all the jokes before they actually happen.
Exactly.
You know what
and if you
sucks is
don't
when
know,
you-
go ahead.
I was gonna say it sucks when you watch a trailer a couple times or in theaters and it's a comedy, and then when you watch the movie, they use an alternate take of it, and you're like, "Fuck!"
It was
I was
funnier
waiting
in
for
the
that
trailer,
one take. It was the trailer take was funnier than the take in the movie. It's always like they took the wind out of them when they were reading it out.
Yeah.
Okay, there was also a Bruce Springsteen. There's a Bruce Springsteen movie. Springsteen, Deliver Me from Nowhere. Too Jeremy, Too Furious. What do we think about this movie, Ed?
So I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm not like overly familiar with Bruce Springsteen's music, to be honest. I know Born in the USA, and I know that many people have misinterpreted that song. But that's about it. I don't know much about the man. I know, obviously,
as an immigrant, you would say that, okay?
Kick me out. I mean, Jeremy Allen White looks the part. This seems like this is going to be that movie that gets him that, obligatory Oscar nomination maybe later this year. And then he'll do something better and more interesting.
Like
but will he? Will he, Ed?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, you're a hater, dude. You don't even act like you're rooting for Jeremy Allen White. No,
I'm sure.
never.
No, I like him as an actor. I thought he was good.
No.
I liked him in
James Bond. Did you know that? There's a rumor out there. There's a rumor out there that he's going to be James Bond. Let's circulate that one for a bit.
Oh man, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, I mean, it looks it looks fine. I mean, it really does just look like that musical biopic.
I'll tell you what.
Thing.
See,
I like that Stephen Graham is in it. I like Stephen Graham. I guess he's playing his father. Yeah, I mean, I have just like no point of reference for this story. You know what I mean?
I'll say this. I watched the trailer. I'll tell you what. I ain't gonna watch this shit. I don't watch any of this stuff. I don't watch.
No.
The last music thing I saw was the Queen one, but I don't even know.
How bad was that?
Terrible. That was terrible.
Yeah,
I was pretty high, so it was okay. But like this song, you're right. I don't know any songs, and also, but I'll tell you this: one thing I did catch. This motherfucker, he ain't trying to sing. He's like, you know what? I don't need to try to sing. They're gonna just put his music underneath it. Like I feel like Timothée Chalamet and Queen and everybody's like, no, let me put my voice into it. And I think Jeremy Allen White's like, no, just put the track under. Like he's not trying to integrate his voice.
It was the last
for that. I respect that.
The last 10 seconds of the trailer, he was like, "I'm singing."
It's like that ain't your voice, my brother.
Like, that's not you, dude. But it looks fun. But to Ed's point, and really to this whole theme of this episode is, I wanted to talk about biopics for a second. But it's like, if we start doing that, we're going to be here for the next 45 minutes, being like, "Well, why did they make this movie like this?" You know what I mean? But it's just like, this does look like another biopic, or whatever we say it. It's just like another musical. Bruce Springsteen is alive, by the way. Okay, he's going to go watch this movie at the theater when it premieres, and it's just like, I don't know.
Maybe he might just be like, meh.
My 2 points on this was, we talked about Naked Gun, we talked about Springsteen. Paul Walter Hauser is in both of these movies. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, you fucks. That's why I wrote down notes. Okay, in this episode.
I thought you were just doing a bit.
I wasn't. I was being serious, okay? and Springsteen, it's Jeremy Allen White and also Jeremy Strong. And it's like, oh, Jeremy Strong in another one of these movies? It's like,
oh, Jeremy Strong is like, for some reason I was like, okay, Jeremy, for this one.
No, you know what is, I think what's happening is the biopic, he's like the producer or whatever, that at the end you're going to be like, oh, he was an asshole all along. But for a very brief moment, you're like, wait, he kind of gets it. He's like, no, Jeremy's a good guy. Get him out there and sing this song. Or Bruce is a good guy. Get him out there and sing this song. And you feel like you're going to love it. But then it's like, oh, here we go again. It's just another one of those. You know what I mean?
Like, is that going to be like a drug spiral at midway through?
I don't think he had a drug problem, did he?
I mean,
we don't know. We don't know the people he was around. Okay?
Can you be a rock star and not do drugs? I mean, I feel like that's a rule.
What was the musical biopic that you enjoyed? The one that you enjoyed? Go.
Like ever?
Ever. The one.
I mean, there's a few. I mean, I like
the one. I'm asking.
The few.
The one.
Yeah, what's the one?
I like Walk the Line, but that was like the beginning of the end of musical biopics
for you. All right, go ahead, Luis.
I don't even know.
Ray
if I've
was
seen
pretty good,
that many.
but they were identical in plot, I guess.
I don't know.
Luis,
I don't think I have one.
You don't have one that you like? You just said Queen you watched and you enjoyed that one.
I guess, I mean, that wins, I guess, just because that was the only one.
You didn't see Ray?
I was more of
a
a Dewey Cox Walk Hard, so...
Well, see, now that is a bit. Miguel.
Ed, God damn it! If I let me do a bit without you saying it's a bit, okay? So we're talking
James Gunn
summer
and you.
movie wager.
Yeah, summer movie. This is actually very exciting. Miguel. Summer movie wager.
Wait, where's he going?
I'm listening. Go ahead,
Miguel. You have to listen to this. This is actually pretty
I'm
good
literally
for you.
listening. I'm listening.
Okay.
You stupid.
Okay.
But you gotta come look at the belt.
Okay, top 10. Top 10. Okay, so here we go. Top 10 movies. You have an ice machine there? What's happening?
We are right next to the refrigerator, aren't we?
I'm so sorry. I just had Fireball.
Are you really by a fridge?
I'm in my house, bitch. Go ahead.
I know, but I don't have a fridge next to me. Okay.
Yeah, well, go ahead. Just stop talking.
Damn,
just
Miguel's
go.
fancy as hell. Okay, number 10 is The Last Rodeo. I don't know what the hell that is. Number 9, Friendship. Number 8, Bring Her Back. Number 7, Ballerina. Number 6, Karate Kids at 45 million. Now we're breaking into the 100 millions here, boys.
Okay.
Number 5, How to Train Your Dragon at 105. Final Destination Bloodlines at 131. Mission Impossible number 3 at 169. Thunderbolts at 188 million. And Lilo and Stitch at 371 million. Let me tell you about the rankings here. Okay, I'm number 1 at 36. Ed is here at 32. And Miguel, you are beating Benny Watts with 29 points.
Okay.
With Benny being 26.
Okay.
Look at you.
See, the thing that, first off, when I sat back down, you were like, anyway, I'm number 1, Ed's number 2. I was like, so I got called back for this, okay? I thought you were about to be like, and then also, by the way, Miguel, you're dead last, okay?
No, I came here, like, you are not. Like, you are beating our new person.
Benny was winning up until last week, was it?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Listen, I will tell you, I appreciate you saying that. I will say this. This is the one that I have, like, resided to be like, okay, I've lost, okay?
Miguel.
I've got some big ones coming up, but I don't think they're going to be the big ones. You know what I mean?
Okay, I had this idea while I was showering the other day, but it's going to be.
I think you were thinking of me. Go ahead.
I was thinking of you. Ooh, I think next year is going to be our 5th year doing this, which
that's the one. That's
crazy to say that out loud and feel like we only have 100 subscribers, so we're doing pretty good. So our 5th year, going to do this. No, but look, okay, so Ed won 1. Then Miguel won 1, then I won 1, and now we're in our 4th year, right? And our 5th year, I think we do the 5th Miguel 5-year special. We don't do any research on anything, and we just go off vibes. It's a vibe year.
No, because this last one was make me go, I should really do a lot more research on these.
Okay. Then
I was like, no, let me lock in on this next one.
Okay,
we'll just split. Me and Luis won't prepare, but Miguel, you prepare.
Whoa.
You know what?
Me and Luis will go on vibes.
I'll tell you this, I would love if we actually did that, but I don't think you both have it in your hearts to not prepare. Okay? Respectfully. You're never gonna do that. You know what I mean?
I'll do it for the bit.
I will do it for the bit, but I agree. Like it would be like one of those things where I'm just like itching to check out some stats.
I wouldn't want you to. I feel bad even like suggesting you don't do research. You know what I mean?
No, that would be fun though. I would like. What are my vibes? I don't even know anymore.
No one even knows. No one could even say what Ed's vibes are. No.
I need numbers.
My God.
I mean, but my numbers. That's the thing. Like last year, especially. I mean, my numbers have led me astray.
Can I tell you, as every year, there's someone that really kind of goes. For me personally, goes, oh fuck! I should have like done a little bit more what they were doing. Benny this year came in so strong with very heavy opinions about things. And I was like, oh, I kind of see his point of view. I wish I would have like framed my thought around that. But we'll see at the end. I mean, like you said, I won once on vibes. You know what I mean? My son
wasn't the strongest vibes.
My son recently was like, oh, Daddy, do you remember the Buzz Lightyear movie? And I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do, Luis. I do.
Oh man!
But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm glad to know that I'm not losing, quote unquote. But I thought officially Benny's not in the race. So
we did have like I want to bring this up real quick. We had like
good.
Last week we kind of just like jokingly on the side in our group chat we were talking about what How to Train Your Dragon was going to pull. Incidentally, I got it bang on the money.
Hang on. Before you say that, Luis, you see, all of a sudden now Ed's got a producer hat on. Now all of a sudden he's like, well, incidentally, we should talk about this one thing.
It's just fun, you know, like...
you know it, Matt.
You know it. Okay. No, I like this. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so this weekend we're going to see Pixar's Elio drop, and also 28 Years Later, which we're starting to see the reviews for both. But the question is, who's going to come out on top? I had it as a very modest weekend, but Luis seems to have some different ideas. But I'm curious to see like where you guys think 28 years
28
later.
And Elio.
Yeah, I didn't have 28 Years Later on my list, but clearly I was wrong about Final Destination. I didn't have that anywhere on my.
But no, that'll get knocked down.
It's going to stay in the 10. I'll tell you that right now.
I think it will stay in the 10 at this point.
No, number 10 is going to be Megan 2.0. You don't know what you're talking about, okay?
No, what's funny enough is so doing my list, I've actually written down how much I think it's going to get in the box office, and then how much I think it's going to get opening weekend, as a way to help me put it in order.
Right.
That's not vibes.
So far, I'm very wrong with a few of them. So it is what it is. I think what Elio is going to outbeat 28 Years Later. This is what I said in the chat. I said Elio is going to make less than it should, but it's going to be over 28 Years Later. But 28 Years Later is going to make more than it should, but it still won't make as much as Elio.
Oh, that's interesting. I see what you're saying. I do think this is the horror movie that'll push it for the summer. I think this is the one that will make a lot more than you expect.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I feel like is
a family Pixar movie.
But we've already had Lilo, we've already had How to Train Your Dragon, and it's like Elio was supposed to come out a year or two ago, and they're finally releasing it. And I feel like it's one of those things where we've seen the trailer so many times that our audience is even like tuned into it anymore.
No.
Yes, we are going to go see it because my son wants to see it, my wife wants to see it, but I want to go see 28 Years Later.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why Elio is going to get
of both of them. 28 Years Later holds for me a little bit more of like prestige, quote unquote, because it's a legacy sequel. It's something that it's like, oh shit, we're doing this again. Oh fuck, my AirPods are about to die. Fuck. Anyway, I'm just saying, I think this is going to be the one. Fuck Elio. His one eye, a little space ass division. I'm just saying.
So, Ed, did you want to go talk numbers? Is that what you're saying? You wanted to see how much?
Well, because you said you went a lot higher on yours. Like I said, I think it's going to be a little bit slower this weekend. I
think I looked at the wrong numbers, and I think we might be. Let's see. What did you say? You said 30 something, right?
I said, okay, so I put it in this order. I think Elio, How to Train Your Dragon, and 28 Years Later will be the top three. I think maybe Elio and How to Train Your Dragon might could easily switch spots, but I had it at 38 mil, 35, and then 28 Years Later, roughly around 22.
Whoa. Okay. Past Louise actually had opening 28 Years Later would be more than Elio. That's crazy, Luis. Past Luis. Past Luis had 28 Years Later opening at 35 million and Elio at 32.
Can I say this? I wouldn't be surprised if 28 Years Later did have that strong of a opening. I mean, I feel, yeah.
I think word of mouth, cinephiles, like, I think it's like, it had a great trailer. Great kind potential,
of like yeah. The trailer, especially, I think, definitely got people hyped for it. Even like in regards of like the legacy sequel, like I feel like even newcomers to this franchise will be like, oh yeah, that like freaky kind of thing.
Yeah.
With like a solid cast. I don't know. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, but I think it might just be a little bit more modest than that.
Well, see, hopefully the people who like watched, just recently watched Final Destination Bloodlines, like the horror people, are like,
yeah,
ooh, I want another one, and this will be the one. So,
and this one is going to be a little more. Well, I don't know. Like Final Destination and 28 Years and Days are two very different styles.
Totally, yeah,
of that genre. So. I think you're right, though. I think that is going to be kind of like the vibe of like, oh yeah, another like intense-looking horror.
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna have to see.
Yeah, and I mean, we're supposed to get 3 more of these, right, or 2 more of these movies.
Yeah, I don't understand why that's happening. So
there you go.
Whatever. The next
28
one's called
Centuries Later.
No, they're not even doing that. They're doing 28 Years Later again. Bone Temple is the second movie.
Yeah.
You know, you already got a what's it called? A fucking pattern. I want the next one to be 28 decades later. You know, let's get in the future.
Decades. That was the next one, yeah. Then centuries.
Then centuries. That'd be crazy.
28 eras later.
28.
Like, everybody's just evacuated to space.
Okay, cool. Let's do quickly what we're into, and then we'll finally end on our feature discussion, How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh.
Miguel, you got a good one.
Can you guys hear me? We're all good?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on one second. I want to talk about 2 things very quickly. Tonight.
You watched this? Damn.
Very quickly, I'm going to talk about it, okay?
I love that, yeah.
I finally got to watch Predator Killer of Killers, which is the animated Predator movie that just came out. It's on Hulu. I watched it on Disney Plus. It is an anthology type story, but it's told over a movie, which I think is kind of nice because for me personally, I got to watch it in like 15, 20-minute increments.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I could eat dinner and watch it, and I could play Fortnite.
Wait, you played Fortnite whilst you were watching it?
No, you fuck. I paused it.
Okay.
Because it's an anthology.
There's like a whole nother level of like
disrespect. I know. I would never. I would never. No,
because I know which one you're paying attention to in that regard.
They do it over. They do it over like story beats, and then at the end they kind of wrap it all up together. But the final act was really good. I would just say it is very, I said right here, tropey for like a Predator movie because it's like, oh, they learn the heat signature. They learn the technology. It doesn't matter what like age they're in. They all kind of learn how to fight the Predator. But I would say this is that Predator and also Alien, those are 2 of the, like maybe the top 2 scariest like sci-fi monsters of all time. Okay. There's something about both of these creatures that terrify me to my core because it's like no matter what you do, they're always going to keep coming after you. In the Predator movie specifically here is every time they beat a Predator, the more advanced Predator would like abduct them and be like, well, now you're going to fight with the rest of the Predators. And it was like, so even if you finally survive the trial, they're going, well, now you got to fight more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was absolutely terrifying. I thought it was really great. It was a Nordic fighter, a Japanese samurai, and then like a quote unquote present day. It was like the 20s, 30s, like warplane, like pilot in the Navy. What I thought was crazy was they spanned all these times, but they brought them all together. And it's like they froze them in a capsule until they were ready to bring them all together. With the final act of them, like without the language barrier, keeping them apart, but like learning to fight together against this like foe. And I won't spoil too much, but they do reference another Predator movie at the end, and it's like, oh, even though this is animated, this is still within the canon.
Did Dan Trachtenberg make this?
Yes, yeah. So I won't give it away, but you seem to know it. I thought it was really fun. I thought the action was really good.
Did he direct that one that's coming out?
The Badlands?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Busy boy.
I think it was a lot of fun, and it was just a really quick one that I did. I do want to talk about God of War, but I'm going to wait on that one. I'm going to let you guys talk about some of the other things you want to talk about. And if my AirPod dies, maybe I miss it, okay? So, good.
Charge it while I'm talking, because I'm about to talk about Wes Anderson.
Yeah, start charging it now.
I did... I did go see the Phoenician Scheme, the latest in the Wes Anderson collection. Luis, you haven't seen this yet?
No, I just life.
Well, I'm not gonna get too.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm not gonna get too like lost in the details, but it sucks to just say like, yeah, it's a Wes Anderson movie, but it just is, it is what it is. But this, I had a good time with this one. It was like right off the bat, like hilarious. It was more of a straightforward comedy in terms of Wes Anderson than maybe his last two outings have been. But still, again, in the very Wes Anderson way, dealing with like relationships, and specifically in this one, kind of dealing with mortality of the character Benicio del Toro's character Jar Jar, which I love that name, by the way.
Like Jar Jar Binks,
but with a ZHA, I think it is spelled Jar Jar. Yeah. He's like this kind of like arms dealer businessman who repeatedly is fending off assassination attempts and keeps surviving. But because of that, he gets reacquainted with his daughter, who's played by Kate Winslet's daughter, Maya Freppleton, I think you say it. But he kind of tries to bring her under his wing, and she's like trying to become a nun. So, funny things ensue. And then Michael Cera kind of is almost like a bit of a scene stealer.
Oh, cool.
He kind of just like fits perfectly into that vibe. Really funny characters. And it was like a tight hour 30, I think.
I love that.
Or something. Yeah. No, very much like in the same essence of his last two movies, I would say. Like,
French Dispatch and Asteroid City.
Exactly. Thank you. And you've got big cast members coming and going, but it's a lot of fun. There's like a certain lighter comedic air to it than, like I said, the last two films. So it was really just like a nice casual romp. And Benedict Cumberbatch comes in at the end with like in hilarious style. Like, I mean, going into it, you could it probably hits all of those beats, but if you are a Wes Anderson fan, you will not be disappointed in that sense.
You know what this is? I feel if you're starting to feel like like Poker Face has like I mean, this is not actually the same at all, but like Poker Face, each episode's kind of different. Like, I I feel
But
like
they're
if Wes
having fun
Anderson
with
had a
it.
TV show, this is just like the next episode. You know what I mean? It all kind of feels the same,
Yeah.
but it's just like the next episode, the last three, like from French to Phoenician from Astro to Phoenician, like they're just kind of in the same vein. If that makes
100%.
sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. Definitely. And yeah, it just feels like that. Even from like, I guess Isle of Dogs and Grand Budapest feel like of different styles.
Yes.
Compared to these three, you know, and I don't know if that's just like his story structure that he's kind of turned to, like these stories within stories, which the Phoenician scheme doesn't do as much with, but it definitely still has that kind of otherworldliness to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was a fun time. We
there are
enjoyed
stories
it.
within stories in this one.
No, but it's more like it'll go on these little like I want to say visions or dreams where he's like talking to God, or who's played by Bill Murray, or you know he's on trial at the gates of heaven, essentially seeing if he would go into heaven. So he's having like these existential like encounters with his own morality and like his like how his life, how he's been leading his life to where it goes, kind of thing. I don't know, but it's a lot of fun.
I have a follow-up question for you. I want to see it in theaters, but how long do you think it'll be until this thing is on streaming?
Ooh, it'd be pretty quick.
Yeah,
like give it 2 months. I feel like the transition for Asteroid City to be on streaming was not long at all. So I feel like it would be pretty quick, to be honest.
Perfect. Like I said, if I can, I'll squeeze it in. There's just like, I'm already so behind.
You know, I would be lying to say like, and I hate to say it, but just, you know, if you appreciate all of that stuff, and of course, every shot has like a ton of detail in it, you know, as he does in his movies. So like, if you're trying to just enjoy all of that, then obviously you want to see it in theaters. But at the same time, it is that kind of aesthetic that you're so acquainted with,
right?
That, you know, and like I said, it is of such a similar ilk of the last two movies. It could almost be like that kind of anthology series or whatever, you know. But that's just how it is, you know. It's not like
still like a fun time if you're a fan.
Yeah, you're not going to see the latest stunt from Wes Anderson, you know what I mean? It's more of just like, here's the latest tale from Wes Anderson, and
totally,
it's a good time. Yeah.
All right, the Phoenician Scheme now out in theaters. I'll do mine real quick. So this past Saturday we celebrated my birthday, and we did that. I had these two gentlemen. It was Steven and also Benny. We had like a long ass Twitch stream or YouTube stream of us playing Fortnite. It literally was like 8 hours, and it's at 97 views. So almost 3 views short of 100 views for people watching this stream. You know, I mean, a view is like 30 seconds, and that counts as a view. Was fine. I don't care. Like, but number wise, it's up there. So I can still say it's 97 views. But yeah, it was a really fun time, and all I can say is that I want to do it again. Like, that's all. Like, I had such a blast.
It was fun
with y'all.
We got 2 more birthdays to come. So
exactly.
I mean, if we're about to do like a birthday bash every birthday, that sounds fun. I'm ready.
That sounds fun. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's it. Fortnite. So that was it. What we're into. Let's get into our final feature discussion. How to Train Your Dragon. I didn't watch this, but you both did. It was on your list. And I was like, let's just make it a feature discussion. So yeah, I'm gonna give it away to one of y'all. Y'all figure it out. Fight over it.
Miguel, go.
Ed, I would just say this is
you got fireball in your tummy. You're a dragon.
I never saw How to Train Your Dragon, the animated movie, or I might have seen it like in bits and pieces, but I did never like watch it. So we went to go see this movie with my son, and I know we've talked about live action movies, remakes, and how, like, for me, I feel like the whole vibe is like it's the new generation of kids are watching these. This summer, Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon. Those were examples for me and my family. Was we just went and saw them and we had a great time. It was a ton of fun. I did go back. My son was like, "Can we watch the cartoon now?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then we turned on the original movie, and I was like, "Oh man, they just ripped." Like basically all of this dialogue from the movie. And for me, that did kind of cheapen it. Cause like, if you imagine, like, I was having a good time in the movie and my wife was like, I didn't like Jay Baruchel. I don't really like him, but this new guy, he was much more tolerable or whatever. But it's like all he did was do the exact same thing Jay Baruchel did. He just had a different voice because it's not his voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I mean, I don't know. Can you imagine if he got an Oscar for this? I'm making an example, but like imagine he got an Oscar for doing something that they already did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man. And so like an audience member, I had a great time watching the movie until I watched the cartoon movie and I was like, oh, fuck you. You just did exactly. I mean, exactly. And then I tried to remind myself like, well, imagine like William Shakespeare, like a play, like they're going to do the play. And of course, William Shakespeare, he's dead. He's not going to rewrite the play at this point. You know what I mean? But then you're like, I don't know. They didn't really add anything to it either. You know what I mean? So I had a great time initially watching it. Upon rewatch, I was like, oh, okay.
So did you feel like the story lended itself better to the live action or to the...
I will say this. Yes, the graphics obviously were amazing. I thought the final battle of the movie was really good. I was just like, whoa, these look great. But then when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh, okay. Then like all they did was they made it seem like Toothless, the main dragon. Oh, that's the only one that we like crafted to look just like the animated movie. But then you look at the other dragons that are in that movie and you're like, no, you just did the same thing for them too. Like all you did was
rip their eyes a bit more.
Rip these animals and people straight out of the animated movie and put it into the live action one. And really it added nothing of value. And it was just the same old. But then of course you go into the media circuit where it's like, the director's talking shit about all these other live action movies because we did something different. And you're like,
it's the same director who directed the animated movie.
I was like, I don't think he did anything different, man. Like,
because he directed the last one. He literally directed the animated one. So
he directed the whole trilogy, and he's gonna be directing this whole trilogy too.
And then he has the audacity to be like, oh, the second one's going to be way different from the second movie. And I'm like, I don't think it's going to be any different at all. But at the same time, I had a good time. It was a lot of fun. And I think that it's like, if you're going to go see a live action remake and you haven't seen the animated movie that it's based on, you're probably going to have a good time. Because guess what? They're just going to rip it straight from the movie that was already good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a good time. Would I see it again? Yeah, for my son. But I was a little disappointed when I finally watched the animated one.
And that animated one came out 15 years ago. Yeah. I mean, whilst you think that would be enough time in the world of streaming, like that, those movies are readily available.
Well,
and we've definitely watched it over the years. I love that animated film for sure because it was one of those DreamWorks movies that when it came out, I was just like, it doesn't appeal to me. And then I didn't catch it in theaters or anything, but I saw it at home and I was just like, wow, that was actually fucking stellar. Like great storytelling, great characters. The action was really good. And the visuals were really good. I've only seen the second one. And it's a solid one, but it doesn't quite capture, as some sequels do. It just doesn't capture the excitement of the first one. But and it does get a little bit darker, I guess. But so, like Miguel, you're right to assume that it's going to be the exact same thing. I think that was the thing going into this. Is I tried to avoid going near those the animated ones just to try and get like a little bit of fresh, but like I found myself like counting the beats basically as things were unfolding. Yeah. But to its credit, I will say like compared to a majority, let's say, a majority of the Disney live action remakes, it felt heartfelt and sincere. Like there was purpose with scenes, how it was shot, the way that everybody acted in it. I do feel like it looked good, like you said. It didn't feel like it was people just on a green screen, It felt, which like has been like my biggest problem with a lot of the live action remakes. It just feels so soulless, I did feel like some of those emotional beats through the movie, even though I was familiar. And like you said, it really is beat for beat, and I knew what was coming each time. There were a few like changes in some of the dragons' designs, but overall, yeah, they are exactly the same.
About the same,
yeah, exactly. And whether you whether you engage more with the animation because there is like a little bit more cartoonishness with it that is more believable, compared to when you put those characters in the real people, like you had Nick Frost's character, who he was fine, but like you get what I mean. Like he's obviously, that character I feel works better as an animated character because
he looks a little. It's like you're wearing a mustache, you're wearing a hat,
right. It's very like you got like the cartoony makeup on in this. But like Jared Butler came back. I think he's like the only cast member who came back, and he was like he did. I thought good job. But yeah, that's the thing. It just holds you back from loving this film. Is that it is just like a exact play-by-play. It does it very well and better than most live-action remakes that I have seen. Like we haven't talked about it a whole lot, but like the Lilo and Stitch like left me like a little disappointed in a lot of different ways.
Wait, the live-action one?
Yeah.
Wow. Probably my favorite live-action of Disney at all.
I was going to say, I think this is the summer of live action. Like they're finding the way to do it without being like a.
I think like I enjoyed Lilo and Stitch, but I definitely had some issues with it, and that it's hard to give this one too much credit again because it is like exactly a mirror image. Yeah, which all of them are. You gotta, and it's you gotta wonder, like, okay, so what could they have done differently? Like, could they have turned the story around, gotten rid of some character? I don't know. If this was purely what the director wanted to retell, I guess because he always wanted to do a live action in the first place, and now I had the opportunity to do it. Good for you. You got to make both of those movies to great success. But overall, like the general feeling was like we had a good time with it. We were engaged. I wasn't rolling my eyes like I do with so many live action remakes, or like it didn't feel cringy, but it was predictable. And like to that point, it's just like, so why are we trying to follow this story if we already know what's going to happen?
Just to say, as far as predictability, I hadn't watched the movie too much, and so the fact that my son hadn't either, the beats were exciting in the moment. It was after the fact that I was like, oh, I see what you're copying. I would say this, that the visuals and like the final act of the movie, I felt were like, did I say this earlier? Like Game of Thrones worthy. Like, I was like, yeah, I mean, it was like,
in the words of Steven, really? Okay.
No, I know. I don't know how you guys feel. There were some very exciting moments in that last act because the visuals.
I'm so shocked to hear that, to be honest, because the trailer leaves me wanting, and I'm not, and that's good. I get that's a good thing. Like I'm surprised.
I expected the big moment to be like, oh, he rides a dragon. No, that's the middle of the movie, and it was like when they reveal who the big bad guy is. Finally, it's like whoa, and then it looks enormous. It's like the size of a building. This dragon.
They do tweak the design of it a little bit from the animated movie. Like they give it this like red hue.
I think it also because I had just finished playing God of War, which has a couple of dragon moments. I was very like dragon focused in this moment. And I was just like, we sat down and we were like, oh, even my son was like, I have to go to the bathroom, but I don't want to leave yet. Like, I was like, me either.
Yeah, locked
like,
in.
We're locked in.
I agree with you, Miguel. I think in that third act, they really did.
It's good.
They played the emotional and action beats perfectly. Like I was engaged. I knew what was going to happen, but I teared up at times. Like,
can I tell you? Can I just say it now? The one and only moment that I was like, oh my God, was when fucking the dad was like, Hiccup, I'm so proud of you. I was like, fuck! It was like so corny. It was cheesy. But I was locked in that
You
moment.
got Jared Butler, like, all dressed up, kind of goofy. But, like, man, he sells it.
He is very good.
I think he did a good job at, replaying that character, that role. And he made... I think most of the cast in this really did well. Which was one of my bigger problems with Lilo and Stitch. Like some of the cast in that, I was just like, this was a huge mistake. Whether that was like the casting, the studio, the writing, whatever. But
you can't say that about that little girl, though.
No, she was really good.
No, she was really good. Absolutely. I'm talking more of like the whole, like the other half of the movie, including Zach Galifianakis and that other dude.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, that I can get behind. Yeah.
That was terrible, but. We're talking about this movie, but this film just like, that's the thing. It's just like, it holds me back from giving it too much credit, but at the same time, it's very well made. Like I said, there was, you could feel the intention with every shot, every scene. Like it didn't feel rushed. Like they were just trying to get to those moments. They built up on those moments. The town, the village, the island, the Dragon Island, even everything felt authentic. Like it looked good. Like to Miguel's point, like that last battle really did look good, and the dragons look really good. Like I think that would have been like a real deal breaker at the end of this. Like if that final climactic scene didn't play out, but it looked really fucking good.
Wow.
So like to that point, it's like almost a shame that they just couldn't give it that original, play on it.
I do have one quick prediction, and you guys know me, I'm doing predictions this episode, is, Luis, lock in for me for a second. You like a theme park attraction, okay?
Yeah.
And obviously Universal is doing the whole How to Train Your Dragon. You've probably seen the clips already where the actor for How to Train Your Dragon doesn't quite look like, he looks a little bit like the animated character, but he's really doing the spot-on Jay Baruchel voice. Have you guys seen the clips?
Yeah.
No.
To your point, he looks, it sounds just like Jay Baruchel. He's doing the voice, and it's like kind of wild to hear him speak. You're like, oh my God, that's him. My prediction, I mean, as soon as the movie was over, I was like, they are going to recast that guy, even though he's really good. They're going to recast that guy to look like the character from the live action movie and completely cut the voice. I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, I agree with that.
They're going to streamline the movie.
They're aging people up, and as you go through the movies, they age up. So it would make sense if you're going for like a darker tone, you could like totally age people up into a more mature place. So why not? You're
gonna see that guy from the movie screen ripped to the Universal Park. That's my guess. But man, what a movie, guys! What an episode. You know what I mean?
Solid 3-star film, but a 5-star pod.
It was fun. It was a good one. Next time, I'll bring my fireball, and then the one after that, Ed will bring his fireball. We'll have back-to-back fireballs.
I don't have to bring it next week.
I'll mail it to you. Tune in next week. We are going to be talking about 28 years later. All right. I would do a ranking, but it's like 1, 2, 3, and then that's it. So, I mean, we could.
And I think we all know which one's going to end up bottom.
We know which one's at the bottom, for sure. And it's not Mission Impossible 2. I'm just kidding. Tune in next week. 28 years later, we're going to talk about that. I will be watching that in the movie theaters. But thank you for listening. It's been me, Luis Gonzalez, and with me has been
Miguel Sanchez
and Ed Bull.
And until next time, later, Gators.